All right. So, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Once again, I'm Nefri. I'm one of ARC One's senior functional consultant for SAP Business One. Okay. So, thank you for being here with us today. So, are we ready to learn tips and tricks for the administration module? May I see heart reacts in the chat if we're ready. All right. Wow. It's a lovely audience this afternoon. So, gentle reminder once again, we will have a Q&A session later. So, if you have questions as we go along the topics, please feel free to type them in the chat box so that we can answer them later. Okay, and also reminder pala to please let's mute our microphones para mas maging maganda yung experience natin sa webinar. Medyo may na ayun. Sige, team, pakimute na lang if there's somebody in the audience na forgot to mute. Okay. So, without further ado, allow me to begin. Okay. So, once again, our topic for today is the administration module. So as you know, ARC1 has been holding enablement webinars like this, like every year, and we want to make this one a little bit different. So I will not go through the regular flow of how-tos in the administration module because aside from having only an hour to do this and the module having a lot of functionalities, we don't want to bore you with things that you probably already are familiar with, especially sa basic navigation lang ng administration module. So instead, we will discuss a few tips and tricks that could improve your activities as the administrator of SAP Business One. So we're hoping na we can guide you on how to maximize the functionalities na hindi nyo na-explore usually in the administration module. And after the session, we're hoping na pwede pala yun. Or, pwede di ay na. Or, ay, pwede gali to. Ayun. So, sa mga nakakaintindi nyon, so sana masabi niyo yun after the session. So, is there anyone in the audience who has another version of that phrase in their own language? Meron pa ba? Yung pwede pala yun. Ayun, parang nakakaintindi lang ata lahat nun. Okay. So, let's get down to business and get on with our first topic. Number 1, out of the office. So, for the past decade, tayong mga Pilipino, we've been improving naman on trying to balance life and work. However, may mga panahon naman na hindi, sinong hindi nakaka-relate sa walang balance sa life and work dito? Paki-heart nga sa, paki-heart react na. Kung sinong walang, ayun, meron palang walang work and life balance. So, sana magka-work and life balance tayo, no? So, yun nga, may mga panahon talaga na hindi natin maiiwasan. Kahit workaholic tayo, ayun, hindi talaga maiiwasan na mag-out of the office tayo, whether we plan it or it's an emergency. And sometimes, when we're not in the office, say for example, you are on a vacation or you're attending an emergency that needs your attention or focus, yung nakikinig ka, kailangan mo makinig sa diagnosis ng doktor, or kung ano pa naman na that needs your focus. Pero in that moment, you're torn between that situation and anxiety na baka you're missing out on something urgent or important in work. Or while you're out of the office, may mga nagme-message pa rin sa'yo. Kahit nandun ka na sa Mount Fuji, nagme-message pa na, pa-approve please. Ayun. Sino ba yung nakaka-relate dito? Ayun. So, yung iba, parang may FOMO sa work. Kung nasa work, nag-iisip magpahinga. Kung nagpapahinga naman, nag-iisip naman na mag-work. So, medyo challenging mag-compartmentalize, ano? So, ayun. The good news is, pwede pala tayong mag-activate ng out of the office status. So, aside from our regular communication applications, whatever you're using, Teams, Slack, Viber, ano pa ba yung ibang ginagamit natin to collaborate within the organization? Aside sa Teams, Slack, and Viber. May I see chats from the audience? Ano ba yung ginagamit nyo to collaborate? Yun, meron bang iba pa? Meron ding gumagamit ng Messenger, ano? So, yan. Whatever you're using, Teams, Slack, or Viber, yun, you can set your out of the office there, but you can also set an out of the office in SAP Business One. So, how to do that? Ayan. So, to do that, hanapin nyo lang tong message alerts na um, icon or hanapin nyo siya sa module, sa administration module. So, but the quickest way is to get there. And then, when you click that, lalabas itong message alert overview na window. Then, you click the out of the office. Then, i-click nyo naman ang I am not in the office. Yun. Tapos, click nyo yung my email. So, the idea is, this will send, parang if you enable this feature, this will send incoming messages. Itong mga message alerts, no, nasa message alerts overview, it will send it to your email so that you can revisit them whenever you can naman. So, you just need to click update. By the way, pala, for you to enjoy this feature, you need to set up your emailer. So, if you need further assistance with that, you can reach out to us via SAP B1 Care or yung regular support email ni ARC1. Okay. So, when you click update, ayun. And then, pag close nyo yan, naka-out of the office na kayo. But take note, if i-open nyo ulit yung message alert view, ma-undo or ma-reverse yung out of the office nyo. Say, for example, na-click na kayo ng out of the office, ay, may pahabol pa pala na, author for approval. Na-click nyo ulit yung message alert overview. So, it will revert to the parang hindi na siya, you're not out of the office status anymore. So, you just have to click it again and do the settings again for the out of the office. Ayun. So, pwede pala yun. Yan. Okay. So hopefully, we get to use this feature, especially for approvers, yung administrators. Yan. So let's proceed. Let's get down to our next topic. So in the same breath, if we're out of the office or for some reason approver ka, tapos you cannot attend to your approvals kahit nasa office ka, may meeting ba or something, tapos yung mga pina-approve natin, they're very critical to our operations, so you may actually set up a substitute approver. So ang effect lang niya is when you define a substitute approver and define a period of its validity, the approvals will be sent to that user as well. Okay, so how do you do that? To do that, so you go over to your administration module, approval process, tapos yung sa pinakababa, nakikita nyo, nandyan si substitute authorizer for approval templates. Pwede pala yun. So when you click that, the substitute authorizer for approval template window will open up. Ayan, so you see there, sino yung authorizer, anong code ng authorizer, user code yan. Tapos, ano ba yung pangalan niya? Sino ba yung isiset natin na substitute authorizer for the authorizations that's assigned to the authorizer code? Tapos, anong pangalan ng substitute authorizer? What period is it applied? Is it valid? At what template? So, by the way, this template is ibig sabihin ng template nito, yung approval templates. So I believe for us, so almost us siguro dito, alam na how to set up the approval templates. If not, you can send us an inquiry via our SAP B1 Care. So again, this is selecting the approval template. Yan. So let me play it again. So ayun, so I'm gonna try. I did try to select here. By the way, this is to make the presentation more streamlined, I pre-recorded the navigation. So yun, ipo-pause and play ko lang as we go. So yun. So what I did here is I selected the manager, which is more often than not, they're the approver. Tapos, say for example, si manager, siya yung nagsasign ng checks. Siya yung nagsasign ng EP invoices. So, tapos, for some reason, the manager in the form of, say, for example, the president ba yun, or somebody who's assigned or authorized to approve, pumunta siya ng food show sa China kasi it's still business, but it's important, or kung ano man, or nag-vacation lang. Ganon. So, in that scenario, pwede pala nating i-assign without creating another approval template. Pwede pala nating i-assign temporarily as a substitute approver si AP, say for example, yung AP head natin. Ayun. So i-edit nyo lang yung validity. Yun. So, say for example, for a month. Ayun, tas you can select which approval template. So, here, it will show the approval templates, yung pangalan ng mga approval templates. So, sa example lang natin, isa lang yung na-populate natin. But in your case, if you have like 20 approval templates, whether active or not, makikita naman yan dito. Ayun. So, as you click update, the rows will update, especially in these grayed out columns. So, meron ding traceability, date created, time created, at sino yung nag-create. Ayun. So, another example could be, after that period, let's say, for example, after that month, there's another month na you need a substitute approver, but not just for the AP invoice template. You also want to have that substitute approver to approve everything na talaga. So, ayun. Pwede natin siyang iset na all naman. So, try natin i-assign. Sino ba? Assign natin hindi na si AP staff, si ano siguro. Si Bob. O, i-assign natin si Bob na approve for that period naman. Ayun. So, set lang natin yung date. Hanggang kailan substitute approver si Bob. Tapos, ayun. Set natin to May 27. Ayun. Tapos, click update. Ayun. Okay. As we click update, ayun. Nga pala, you've seen there's an error below it. So, the good thing about this is hindi siya nag-aalaw sa inyo na mag-overlap yung na-set up nyo previously na substitute approver. So, one thing pala, may I insert, for our administrators here, it's also important for our team na we enable them to read the error status yung sa baba. Kasi when yung usual experience natin kasi, especially yung mga bagong setup na users, bagong implement na mga clients natin, hindi sila nagbabasa ng mga message alerts overview, not message alerts, yung error alert sa baba. So, if we enable our team, especially to administrators, turuan natin si users natin na magbasa tayo sa sa error alert sa baba, baka mas mapaliit yung load natin. Kasi instead of asking you, baka they can already fix the problem in their level na. So, for this example, nakita natin na hindi siya nag-proceed kasi mababasa mo, meron daw nag-overlap. Ayun. So, insert ko lang yung quick tip na yan kasi as much as we'd like to think that it's common, meron pa ding iba na hindi pa sanay kasi nga meron tayong new users. Ayun. So, ayan. So, palitan lang natin yung date. Palitan lang natin yung date natin para hindi siya mag-overlap for this example. Tapos ma-proceed natin. Okay. Okay. So, the idea is you may just keep on adding rows for future instances since meron namang individual validity periods yung mga rows. Especially if you want audit trail, like say for example, you want a history rundown of ano ba yung mga instances na nagpa-substitute approver. Sino ba nag-approve nito? Ay, yun pala, may na-create na substitute approver setting in that period. Kaya pala lumusot, ganun. So, if you want audit trail, pwede nyo i-keep yung mga rows na na-create nyo. But if say for example, nagmamadali kayo or ayaw nyo nang mag-create ng bagong row, pwede nyo ding i-change na lang yung validity. So, it's up to you how you want to use it. Para pwede nyo i-reactivate yung rows by changing the validity naman. Okay. So, hopefully, pwede pala yun with this topic. Ayun. Okay. So, next topic. So, some of you might have encountered the dilemma of wanting to give SAP Business One access to specific persons in the organization. Pero you're worried na they might be able to view documents or data that should be confidential to them. What do I mean? Although we have the general authorization set up, pero hindi lahat ng visibility concerns are addressed with the general authorization setup, 'di ba? So, if you allow somebody to access AR invoice, ma-access niya lahat ng AR invoice. So, say for example, you want to give access sana to all your sales force. Say for example, malaki yung sales force mo or whether malaki or maliit, you want to give access to your Salesforce na sila na lang gumawa ng sales order para mas timely yung yung pag-submit nila ng sales. Tapos, they create their own transactions. But you don't want them to see the sales order created by the other salesman. So, sabi, baka you thought, ay, wag na lang natin sila bigyan. Baka makita silang mga confidential information or baka makita nila yung data ng other salesman. For some reason, hindi pwede sana. So, wag na lang natin sila bigyan. So, you were stopped at that. Instead, you wanted to purchase, you wanted to give them a license sana. So, and also, it's another use case scenario is for the sales territory leads, you want them to be able to access the sales order of their team. Tapos, you don't want them to access the sales order of the other territories. So, if you didn't know that this dilemma can be addressed by SAP Business One, worry no more. We're here to cover that today. Ayun, pwede pala yun. Okay. So, how to get to that? First, you need to go to the administration module and punta na lang tayo sa system initialization, tas authorizations, tas meron palang data ownership dyan. Ayan. I-pause ko for everybody to see. Ayan. Nandyan si data ownership authorizations. Ayan. When you click that, the data ownership authorizations will, the window will show. Ayan. So, as you can see, on your left side, nandyan yung lahat ng employees na na-set up natin. Employees within our organization who are using SAP Business One. Then, on this side, you will see the documents that's being used in SAP Business One na pwede nating set upan ng data ownership na setting. Sorry. So, those columns naman, on the right side, yan yung mga relationship niya with other people in the organization. So, peer, yung kasama niya within the same department. Manager niya sa department. Ayun. So, and so forth. So, branch, meron din tayong subdivision. Yun. Meron ding company. Yun. So how does this work? So, for this to work, kailangan nyo munang i-set up yung relationships ng bawat employee. So, parang the idea here is, say for example, ito si Bill. Si Bill, ang mga gagawin niya na pag gumawa siya ng AP, say for example, AP invoice, yun. So, if i-set up natin si Bill, yung visibility niya with the other people in the organization, so say for example si Bill, hindi niya makikita yung AP invoice ng peer niya. Ayun, naka-none to lahat. So, hindi niya rin makikita yung AP invoice ng manager niya. So, yan yung idea niya. Yun yung relationship ng setting na to, yung connection between the left pane and in the right pane. So, meron tayong tatlong settings for this. You have full authorization. 'Di ba, pwede, although documents have already been added, pwede naman nating i-edit and some parts of it. Like, we can even cancel or close it. So, that requires full authorization. Kung read-only access, yung pangalawa, kung read-only access, wala kang modifications na magagawa. And none, hindi mo makikita, and of course, hindi mo siya ma-edit. Ayan. So, ayan. So, iset nyo lang dito individually for whatever documents that you want to set per employee. Ayan. So, once again, in order for you to do this, you have to set up lang the employee master data. So, yung employee master data natin, the way to set it up, so if you're familiar with our employee master data, ayun, merong basic information, pero dito din natin masiset, especially itong part na may manager. So, hanapin natin muna si Bill. Ayun. So, pwede mong iset, sino ba yung manager ni Bill? Para it will connect to this setting. So, for example, naset natin nga na manager ni Bill, ayun, etong taong si Julie. So, si Julie, pag naset natin si Julie as manager, tapos ginawa natin ng access ng manager ni Bill na none, so hindi niya makikita for that document yung mga ginawa ni Julie na transactions for that specific document. Ayun. So, pwede pala yun. So, hopefully this is useful to your team so that you can give more access without having the fear of parang parang matatakot kayo baka may mga confidential information na ma-access yung binigyan nyo ng access or license sa SAP. Ayan. Pwede pala yun. Okay. So, let me go through our fourth topic. Ayan. So, for system administrators dito, paki-heart nga, sino ba dito yung mga system administrator or SAP admin? Kung can we give ayun, may we have heart reacts from the audience. Ayun, marami tayong, kasi kayo yung makaka-relate dito na pwede pala yun. Ayun. Okay. So, for system administrator, ayun, ang daming system administrator. Ayan, sige. Sana, if you don't know this, sana makatulong to sa inyo. So, for system administrators, especially those with a fast-paced or dynamic retention or turnover of users, if you know what I mean. Or let's just say your company keeps on evolving. Thus, new needs are identified for more accessibility of new fields. Or say, for example, there are new user-defined fields or merong updates sa workflow natin or whatever it is that requires updates to your user interface among your documents. Have you ever found yourself caught up in the workload of updating each user's document UI? So say for example, may bagong employee, i-edit na naman natin yung specific UI. Say for example, may bago tayong sales cashier. So i-edit nyo naman yung user interface ng bagong user natin. Or ay may bagong field. O so, kailangan mong i-edit ng ang lahat ng field ng lahat ng UI ng lahat ng users to use para makita yung new user-defined field para mapunta doon sa document. So, ayun. Or nag-give up na lang kayo. Binigay nyo na lang yung access sa user na sila na lang mag-edit. Pero this somewhat compromises a little bit of control because to do this, kailangan nyo bigyan ng authorization yung mga users nyo to edit their own UI. So, depende how strict you are, how you want your authorizations, so baka ginawa nyo na lang to. So then, if you're experiencing that issue, then you probably have not explored the UI configuration template. So the idea is, you can identify certain group of personnel in your organization or they have groupings, kumbaga, sharing that they share the same workflow and processes. Then, you define the UI template for the documents accessed by those groups. So, ano ba yung pinagsasabi natin? So, pakita na natin. Yun. So, to get there, punta tayo sa administration. Tapos, hanapin natin ang ating utilities. So, nandun na sa utilities yung ating UI configuration template. Ayun. So, when you click that, lalabas yung UI configuration template natin na window. Ayan. So, on the left side, hindi yan, by the way, hindi to standard ha. Whatever you're seeing on the left side, we just created this. So, you can name it however you want to name it. So, I just name it sales order, pero you can name it, say for example, you have 3 different versions of your sales order. Sales order external, sales order internal, or sales team internal, sales team external, say or whatever use case that you have. So on that side, that will be your the name. It will reflect the name of the template that you created. Okay? So on this side naman, for this, so ang active na UI template na we're selecting is the sales order. Tapos, ito yung forms. Ito na talaga yung documents na sinelect natin. Yung templates, yung UI template na in-applyan natin, na sinet natin within this group of UI template. Ayun. On the second tab naman, dyan nyo iti-tick at i-untick yung sino ba yung mga users na a-applyan nyo for that UI template. Ayan. So, anytime you can change this. Pwede nyo i-untick or i-tick yung, say, for example, may bagong employee, as I mentioned, pwede nyo i-untick, i-click update. Tapos, when they open those forms, ayun, ma-update na yung UI template based on our setting. Ayan. So, yun yung assigned users. Tapos, pwede din may na-define ka na group para hindi ka na individually mag-select ng mga employees. Ayan. So, pwede pala yun. Okay. So, ayan. So, showing here a few more. So, to add a template, you just have to click Control A. So, if alam natin yung mga shortcuts natin, Control A or click lang natin yung add button sa taas, yung mga quick access na button. So, if not, if you find it quicker to use your keyboard, you can just click Control A. So, what I did here is ayun, naka-add mode na alam natin kasi yung button nag-change to add. Okay. Tapos, ayun, you just have to add the template. Tapos, add yun yung description, however you want to describe it. Tapos, add nyo lang yung mga forms na gusto nyong i-add. Ayun. Yan. So, ito, we're showing that we're selecting the forms. Yan, very intuitive naman at very easy naman to navigate this setting. Ayan. Okay, sana napaaha tayo nun. So, now that we know that meron palang UI configuration template, just in case na merong bagong system admins in the audience. Pwede, or merong new clients na hindi pa masyadong explored yung UI editing. Can we have heart reacts if merong either bagong system admin, ayun, meron, at tapos may bagong implement na client na hindi pa na-explore ito or yung UI editing. Okay. Meron nga. So, I will just touch on a bit of the basics of UI editing. For the benefit of our audience or partners na bago pa sa UI editing. So, for those who already know this, you can say, ay, kebaw na ko ana bay. Or, ay, alam ko na yan. Yan. Then give yourself a tap and stay tuned for the next topic in a few minutes. So, let me go through the UI editing. Okay. So there are two major aspects where you can customize your document. So number one is form settings, and number two is the edit form UI. Ano ba yung pagkakaiba ng dalawa? So, yung form settings pala, meron siyang quick button. Yun, yung nakatutok sa arrow. Meron siyang quick button there. It's just that it's gray because I'm not opening a document to edit. So, nag-activate lang siya if you have an active document window na open. Yan. But nandito rin to, it's also living in your tools menu. Meron dyan si edit form UI at si form settings. Ayan. So, say for example, we want to edit maybe an AR invoice. So, let's show an example on ano ba yung difference ng dalawang to. Si edit form UI at si form settings. So, ayan. So, stretch muna natin. Ayan. So, edit form UI. So, si edit form UI, it basically means yung form na nandito. So, pwede nyo palang i-rearrange. And you'll know when you're in edit form UI mode kasi yung window bar, it turns into black. Yan. So, yun. When you do that, everything turns into black. And then this is the part wherein you can rearrange or even add certain fields to your UI, to your document. And then when you're done editing and then when you click close, ayun, magiging updated na yun. Okay. Okay, so let me just show that. Okay. So, tips pala, when we update the edit form UI, we just have to hold on the field. Say, for example, ito si customer, i-hold lang natin si field, tapos mag-wait lang tayo na may black na line na lalabas. And then we can rearrange. Si form settings naman, yung pagkakaiba niya is it edits the rows that you have in here. So, yun yung difference ni edit form UI at ni form settings. So, again, si edit form UI, yung arrangement ng mga fields, yung sizing nito, yun. Si form settings, it allows, yung pinaka-importante na part ni form settings, yung mga nasa row natin. So, explore lang natin yan. para makarelate, para ma-apply natin yung etong mga form settings sa ating UI configuration template. Okay. So, going back to your UI configuration template, say for example, may na-add na kayo, from there, you can edit your form UI. Ayun. So, what we did there is we just clicked on the form that we wanted to edit. Tapos yun, it will show in that face or form na meron siyang black yung kanyang window bar. Ayun. Tapos navigate lang natin or change it however we want it. Okay. Ayun. Tapos save lang natin after that one. Okay. So, pwede din natin i-apply yung current setting natin sa other UI templates na ginawa natin. Okay. So, once again, let's have everyone in the organizations be mindful of our error bar dito or your status bar dito para alam natin na successfully updated na yung document natin. Okay, so I hope we learned something new from this. For new system admin, sana mas makatulong to para mas maging magaan yung pag-i-edit-edit natin. Especially again, as I mentioned, kung dynamic yung yung users natin na may bago palagi or palaging merong changes sa ating workflow. Or say, for example, meron tayong new user-defined fields na gustong i-add. Okay, so we're done with that. Let's get to our fifth topic. Okay, reference field link. I wonder for any of you here in the audience, sa workflow nyo or kahit sa regular daily processes nyo, are you constantly searching for related documents in the journal entries? Like, do you struggle to track transactions back to their source when you're facing a journal entry? Or the current referencing settings, yung reference settings within your document, it does not cater to your specific needs. So, you will have to create a separate monitoring report para mag-correlate ng mga transactions versus journal entry. If you're not struggling with this, then good for you. You probably got it figured out. But for those whose answer is yes, we are struggling with this, Nefri. Did you know that it's actually possible to customize your reference field link on your journal entries to improve your transactions tracking? Pwede pala. I think this is also a very useful thing that's not very much explored by administrators. Yun. So, how do you do that? How do you customize your reference field link? Okay, so punta lang tayo sa reference field link. By the way, if I may add also, as if you notice in my previous slides, I was looking for the features from the module menu themselves. Aside from this quick menu bar that is customizable on your left side, I looked for it in the modules menu bar. So again, many of you might already know this, but also with new users, many of you might also not know this na etong search bar natin, if we just switch it to menu mode, kasi yung default niya naka-search data mode, gawin lang natin menu mode or control F3. So, mas madali nating ma-open kasi madami tayong functionalities. And then, you want to quickly open, say for example, reference field link. You can switch the search bar to menu mode. Masasanay din tayo, mabilis na tayo mag-control F3. And then, type lang natin yung name ng window or ng feature or window or document na gusto nating i-open. So, you may type the entire word, the entire first word, or you may type the first letter of each word para mas madali siyang mahanap yun. Instead of doing what I've been doing na navigate lang sa modules na menu. Okay, so hanapin natin si reference field link. And also, as you hover, pwede nyo ding makita dyan kung saan siya where it's living. So, nandun pala si reference field link sa main menu, administration, setup, general, and reference field link. Okay, so now that we're here in our reference field link setup, so you see here all of the documents in SAP na we are able to edit the reference field link. Again, yung relevance nito it's not really the document itself. Yung relevance niya is the journal entry of that document. since yung journal entry, tumitingin tayo doon or we generate reports from it. So, you're seeing here na sa incoming payments pala, na customize natin yung reference field link ng journal entry ng incoming payments. The rest, original lang siya. Yun. So, to edit one, so you also have for administrators or users, minsan si SAP, meron siyang type of window na hindi mo basta-basta maseselect until you know na pwede pala siyang, you can access it pala by double-clicking on the blank space beside it. So, ayun. So, for this window din, yan din yung kailangan natin gawin. So, you just need to double-click beside AR invoice para mag-open tayo. So, say for example, we're exploring a new window, tapos, saan ba to i-edit? Parang hindi naman siya na-edit. Try to double-click on the left side of there's a space beside that document or that row. Dun nyo siya ma-edit. Dun lalabas yung window. Ayan. So, this is now editing the AR invoice na reference field link. So, ayan. So, on the left side, you're seeing the fields of the journal entry of the AR invoice. On this column naman, you're seeing the fields or dito natin ma-update ang fields on the AR invoice itself, not the journal entries. Ayan. So, meron din siyang default value. So, allow me to get on with our sixth topic. Ayan. So, to our managers here, I believe most, if not all of you, are managing fiscal years. And potentially, there could be a bit of a struggle to keep your transactions organized, diba? So, as to period, say for example, nakaseries yung documents natin continually, 1, 2, 3, until infinitely. Did you ever find it hard to track your entries across different reporting periods? Say, for example, with this concern, how can you accurately report your financial reporting but still maintaining clarity between overlapping fiscal years? So, pwede pala nating lagyan ng period indicator yung document numbering natin. So, the idea is, say for example, yung AR invoice na naman natin, favorite talaga natin si AR invoice, no? Kasi it's money, it's income. Si AR invoice, naka-period indicator tayo. So, for 2025, magsisimula yung document or may indicate yung document 2025 and the first document for 2025 starts with 1. So, yun, 2025, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then, say for example, another year has come. So, magiging na siya, if you set up another period indicator, magiging 2026 na siya and then magre-restart yung series. Kasi where this might be very applicable, if you can imagine, siguro normal sa atin no, na meron tayong retroactive na posting or parang may hinabol na posting. Say for example, it's already March 26, 2025. So, naka-series yan, yung document natin. Tapos, meron pala tayong unrecorded sa 2024. So, yung last document is 1001. Yung next document, it's gonna be 1002. Pero, period niya, hindi sa 2025. So, by having a period indicator, mas madali nyong masusort yung entries nyo. Okay. So, how to go about that? Okay. So, ayan. Gawin na naman natin yung menu natin na hack para mas madali nating mahanap ang ating ang ating period indicator na item. Pero nandyan siya sa administration setup. Yan, si period indicator. Yon, just to recap on this, kasi nakakatulong talaga to na mabilis tayong nakakapag-open ng Windows. Ayun, di ba, mas matagal siya kung dyan ka pa mag-a-access compared to just doing it in the menu bar. Ayun, so dito, when you open the period indicator setup, yan, you can open your, mag-open yung period indicator na window. Then you can add your periods. Ayan. So, add natin si 2025 and then update. Then also, you need to update your posting periods na period indicator para whenever you post in that posting period, yun nga, sa series niya, it will identify na 2025, meron dapat 2025 sa document numbering. So, ang medyo ano lang dito, although it's a very nice setup, yung downside niya lang is you'll have to set up every time there's a new period. So, you have to set up for all of them. Ayun. So, click nyo lang update. Change natin yung period indicator niya. Naka-default lang yan normally. Tapos, you can click update. Ayun. So, ma-change na yung period niyan. So, saan ba natin to? Where is this most relevant? So, you open your document numbering setup. So, in your document numbering setup, yun, when you select, ito din, this is one of the examples wherein you have to double-click a row para mag-open siya. Yan. So, when you see that, ayun, sa series ng AR invoice, pwede nyong iset yung period indicator here in this column. Ayun. Ayun. So, dyan, makikita nyo dyan, supposedly, yung period indicator with your numbering series. Ayun. So, hopefully, if there's anybody here in the audience na parang nagsa-struggle sila nito, sana makatulong to sa inyo. Na pwede pala nating lagyan ng period indicator yung ating documents. So, may I also insert a topic since we're in the topic of period, no? Not really often, but sometimes, we get inquiries in our support na may nagpapatulong, especially at the beginning of the year, nagpapatulong kasi hindi sila makapost ng transaction kasi walang period na na-define. So again, for the benefit of the new users na gustong gumawa ng bagong posting period, tapos, hala, ma'am, hindi ako makapost. Ayan, tapos si ma'am pa naman, hindi pa bumalik galing ng bakasyon kasi New Year, nagpunta siya ng Thailand. So, wala, di kami makapost. Huwag tayong matakot kasi si posting period, when you set up a new posting period, it's very simple naman. And also, we recommend for everybody here, yung best practice natin, we set up a new posting period, say for example, in December time, before the New Year arrives. Or whenever we need to, say for example, December pa lang, kailangan nyo nang mag-post ng 2026 na posting period. So, as early as December, para before tayo magbakasyon, pwede naman tayong mag-set up ahead of time ng posting period. So, for those who don't know how to set this up, this is very easy. So, how do you do this? So, ayan. You notice this, meron siyang new period na section. Ayan. Click lang natin si new period. And then, very simple lang talaga yung fields na kailangan yung i-set. So, kasi, as you can see, meron tayong per month na posting period, no? Pero, sa setup nyo, one time nyo lang isa-set up yan, automatically, it will populate into the monthly. So, how? You just need to set up your period code, which is usually your year, period name, usually year din, tapos, sub-periods. So, ito yung, I think merong dalawang very important na tip na we hope for everyone here to remember. Na when you create a period, you make sure that your sub-period is in months. Kasi pag nagkamali kayo, ayun, mahirap na yun i-revert na error. So, ito din, another tip, the second tip is yung ating document from yung itong dalawang to, it's much better that you set it in an advanced date. Kasi yung idea nito, say for example, meron kang posting na you recognize, say for example, account payable. Tapos, December yung accounts payable na identify. Tapos yung due date niya, or kahit AR invoice, yung due date niya sa next year. So, this is you telling the system na if meron tayong posting period na for 2026, it will allow na ang due date niya hanggang January 31 or December 31, 2027. Ayun. So, madali lang yan. So, make sure you review your fields para hindi na tayo mahirapan. Kasi it will define everything else for your sub-periods. Ayun. So, when you're done with that, when you're setting up your due date from, your document date from, you click add, and then you're good to go. That's how you set up your posting period. Ayun. Okay. So, sana naman, may natutunan tayo with this topic or parang meron pa ding nakapagsabi na, okay, nga naon di ay, okay, ganun pala yun. Ayun. Okay, so allow me to proceed to my next topic, batch printing. Okay, so to many managers, not just managers, but also users here, do you ever find yourself spending too much time printing invoices one by one? Are you struggling to generate, say, for example, DR in bulk? Or have you ever been frustrated with manually exporting and emailing PDFs? So, ayun. So, have you ever been frustrated with manually exporting and emailing PDFs? So, yun, marami tayong piniprint. As your workload grows, you wonder, how can I streamline batch printing to save time and reduce errors? Say, for example, the end of the day, na kayo nagko-consolidate ng mga document na paper na need nyo pang-attach to each other. So, tapos end of the day nyo lang yun ginagawa or pwede nyong one time siya ginagawa. And of course, it's actually addressed by SAP Business One batch printing feature. Yun. So, to get there, hanapin lang natin si document printing. So, pwede pala nating, say for example, you want to print at one time all of the AR invoices for that day. So, yung idea nito, set nyo lang yung parameter from this date to that date. Ayun. Tapos, from this business partner, say for example, gusto nyo specific business partners lang yung ipiprint nyo kasi sila lang ng request. Say for example, countering ba? Ayun. So, set nyo lang yung parameters. Tapos, when you click OK, magpiprint na siya at one time, depending on your parameters. So, just make sure lang na yung layout natin, okay na tayo sa layout natin, o hindi maselan yung layout natin as to printing. So, yun, once you're done with this, hindi na siya dadaan ng report and hindi na siya dadaan ng layout, preview layout. So, magpiprint na talaga siya. So, ayun. Ayun, so end na pala ng topics. Ayun. So, nabitin ba kayo? Pa-thumbs up nga kung nabitin kayo if you want more. Wala, sakto lang naman. Ay, you want more. Ayun. Pero may natutunan naman tayo, no? Pa-heart nga kung meron tayong natutunan. Ayun, marami din nag-heart. Thank you. Ayun, so, ayun. That's very nice. So, actually, as mentioned, the administration module is such a wide topic. Ayun. And for SAP admins here, we really do want to help you with your role para mas simplify yung task natin, ano? And you can finally tackle complex processes. And most importantly, you can maximize your system's full potential. So we do sincerely want to help you in those aspects, especially to the administrators here. So before we end, we have a few final general tips for the administrator. Kasi kayo naman talaga ang intended beneficiary for today's session, di ba? So, how do we empower the SAP admin? So, ayan, pa-heart nga ulit sa mga admin dito. Yung SAP admin, yung system admin. Ayun. So, ayun. How do we empower our system admin? So, first thing that we can identify, of course, is how can we improve our knowledge, our skills, our technical skills, and our functional knowledge. So, number one, you can do self-learning, of course, and everybody here who are customers of SAP, you have SAP accounts, you can log into SAP's website and access plentiful of materials there, or you can even just Google, just like this one. So, eto. Yun. This is SAP's document for the administrator's guide. Ayun. Pa-scan nga if it's working for everybody here. And then, tell me how many pages this administrator's guide is. Can somebody in the chat tell me ilang pages ba tong administrator's guide? 178. Ayun, no, mahaba-haba siya. So, 178 pages, tama. So, na-access naman ni Ma'am Bea. Ayun. So, you can save this QR for your future references. Pwede nyo din itong i-Google. So, for administrators, meron palang guide. mayroon palang na-release si SAP na booklet at this is even updated to the latest version. So you can actually self-learn. Yes. So yun, number one, you can learn through SAP guides. And number two, you can also, if parang first page pa lang naantok na ako, gusto ko nang tumigil. Ayun. So, for those who are not into reading, pwede naman tayo mag-enroll ng learning hubs. Kasi SAP is used globally by a lot of companies and businesses worldwide. So, marami nang may YouTube na training. So, but aside from that, SAP themselves have their official learning hub. So, the same with SAP guides, pwede kayong mag-access sa learning hubs ng SAP mismo. Yun. So, may mga videos, and a lot of the learning journeys on SAP, may mga video yan. So, try nyo rin. Marami din kayong matututunan doon. So, the third tip that we want to give you, how to improve ourselves as SAP admin, is join webinars. Of course, like this from ARC1. So, this is the first webinar of this year, and expect that there are more to come. Ayun. So the other thing that we can do to empower our SAP admin is to keep your software updated, patches, and versions. Yun nga, as I saw in the chat, hindi namin to makita itong substitute approver. Yun pala, it's available in version 10. So, if we keep our patches and versions updated, kasi yung mga versions and patches, yung version, dun yun dinedeploy most of the new features. Yung patches naman, it addresses bugs. So, say for example, ay, bug to. Tapos na-search nyo or na-ask nyo sa SAP B1 Care na, ay, it's a system bug. Baka need lang natin mag-update ng patches, di ba? So, yun. To help our SAP admin address better problems, mas mainam na we keep our software updated with its patches and versions. Tip number 2 is to keep your server health in check. Tama pa ba yung space or load natin? Kasi minsan, ayun, kakatawag ng SAP admin, ma'am, hindi, nag-lag na po yung system, hindi makaproceed. Ayun, yun pala, hindi na pala siya meron na palang problem sa server natin. So, we keep your server health in check. So, meron naman tayong programs at meron din tayong may activities din tayo to help you partners keep your server health in check. Then the last thing that we want to tell you to help you optimize your system is you optimize your database. So you can do the best practices in enabling backups and archiving. All of these things, the man is ready, the machine is optimized, all of these things together, it will help your SAP admin instead of, maraming troubleshooting, maraming issue, ayun, mas maging streamline na yung processes natin. Tapos, say for example, streamline na talaga tayo si SAP admin, konti na lang yung ginagawa. So, your sub-admin now can tackle more important activities like create reports or prepare the company for further growth. Ayun. So, actually, that would be the end of that would be my last slide. And the end to the administration module tips and tricks. So once again, more are to come. We will announce them later, so stay tuned. And I hope you learned something new today. If we have questions, we will cover them in our Q&A session. So again, once again, I hope you learned something new today. For administrators, I hope we're excited to make improvements to fully optimize our processes with SAP Business One. So thank you for listening, everyone.